Today I'm just going to give a quick overview of a popular data analysis technique. This is known as or referred to as seasonality analysis. So before going into the details on this technique, just to give a bit of background on the platform I'm using here, this is Google's cloud infrastructure platform. The repository, as we can see on the left hand side, is completely open source, and the database under analysis is the Chicago crime database. So I'm going to be using this database to showcase an example or examples of seasonality analysis. So one other concept I want to mention is EDA. This covers a wide range of strategies and techniques. So EDA is Exploratory Data Analysis. As mentioned, it covers a wide range of techniques, strategies, so including statistical analysis, data visualization. Seasonality analysis is actually a subcategory of EDA. So essentially, these techniques are used to find out as much information about our data as possible, and that's to simplify that concept. So in terms of seasonality analysis, what this is, why we use it, and how it's beneficial, essentially we are using historical data to identify and find patterns, trends within our data. The key word here being over time. So we're looking for recurring patterns, trends within the data over specific time intervals. Now the time intervals, the time series analysis, the intervals we use will be dependent on the context of the analysis, so the objectives of the analysis. So obviously the time intervals can be any time frame. So yes, so in terms of the SQL queries I have written here, I don't want to go into the specific code I've used. However, there's one or two important points I want to mention. So in order to perform this specific technique or analysis, we need a datetime object feature. So without this, obviously we can't perform a seasonality analysis. We need this feature in order to cut into the data and aggregate it in a format or into intervals we want to analyze. The second point I would make is that specific to the language you're going to be using, so for example here we're using SQL, it's very important to understand or be informed about the functions you have available to that object, the datetime object within the specific programming language. So SQL here, Python, etc. So this enables you to aggregate the data within the intervals that you require for the analysis. So that's the two important points I would make. In terms of the queries, I'm only going to run one of the queries. We can see here this query written is, this will output, the result output will be the total crimes recorded per month. But the last query, which is quite a small query, the result output will be the total crimes per hour over the time frame of this database or this data set. So I'm going to run this. And we can see here quite clearly the total crimes recorded, and this feature obviously represents the hour within the day. So one of the key features of cloud infrastructure, so Azure, Google BigQuery, is we can easily visualize the data. And as we can see here, we get a very good understanding of the trends within